my companion and I were heading to a different area. We were going to go by some people that were in our area book. And, along the way, we were just talking to people and waiting for our train. And I see this man start talking to my companion. And I was nearby, so I wasn't concerned, and I could hear the conversation. But he was kind of acting very strange. And it was like midday, so nothing crazy, middle of the night stuff, but it was midday, kind of acting crazy, saying some weird things, and we were just like, okay, whatever. But he continued to talk to us and basically follow us onto the train, and he told my companion that she was beautiful, and I, as a sister missionary, when some stranger tells your companion that she's beautiful, the alarm bells go off, and you're like, okay, gonna pay attention now, like, make sure that she's okay. We end up getting off of the train, and we're like, okay, well, we gotta get off, this is our stop. And he had like taken my phone from me and was like, you should never give your phone to other people, while he's typing his number in my phone. And I was like, okay. And so he gets off the train, and we're like, okay, well, we're gonna go now. And he's like, but wait, I want to give you something real quick. And he starts like barreling towards my companion, and she's just this cute little sweet thing, and I'm like, oh no. And she's just like freaking out, and he's like, he grabs her hair and like starts to try to like braid it or something, and she's just sitting there trying not to cry, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, I don't know if he's gonna try to kiss her, like, and so I just am like, sir, you need to take your hands off of her. And he's just like, I just gotta give her something, very adamant about braiding her hair or something. And I was just like, no, you need to take your hands off. Wouldn't, like, refuse. So this was the cool part, because I am not a confrontational person. But all of a sudden, I just see my hands reach up and grab his arm and grab her hair, and I pull it apart, and then I grab her arm, and we start just walking quickly away. And he like put up a little bit of a fight and was like, but I didn't finish. And we just like crossed the street on a red, and we're like, oh my gosh, and calmed down, and it's like, are you okay? But it's just so crazy what just happened, and I can't even believe that I like did that, but it's hilarious now, but in the moment it was just like so terrifying what was happening. That was definitely a crazy story.
Depending on where you are in some cities, it might be dangerous to be out at nighttime, just because, not every city is safe. But there was one time where me and my companion were on our way home, and the bus said it es ist ausgefallen, so the bus wasn't running anymore. And so we're like, okay, well, we're just gonna walk to the next bus stop and see if the bus comes. Well, the bus never came. And there were police and like cars blocking the way to where the bus was supposed to go. And so we're like, what's going on? So they told us that they had found a bomb where we were living, but it wasn't like an active bomb. It was a bomb from World War II that was buried. So they had to like dig out the bomb and make sure it was going to be okay. So that's one crazy story, which is awesome. Second crazy story, also in the same city of lovely Duisburg. Me and my companion were coming home from an appointment with a senior couple. And so we were on our way home, and we decided to take a bus to the next bus stop. So we get on the bus, and then the bus drops us off to where we need to go. But we get off the bus and we realize there's like a lot of people. There's a group of people. And first of all, you're like, what's going on? And then just paying attention, all the people dispersed. There's no one except for this group of people. And there were a couple Turkish men in a fight, but they had knives, so it was kind of dangerous. And I told my friend, let's walk this way, but it was super dark. We're like, no, we're just like wait till they were like done fighting. And then one of the guys with the knife like walked right past us, which was really scary. Something sad that happened when I was in Frankfurt at the Hauptbahnhof at the main train station. I wasn't there to see it, but you have to be really careful around the platforms where the trains come in and out, because they can't stop super fast. But something really sad happened. A child was pushed into what they call the gleis, so where the train tracks go, and fell and died. And they had like a big memorial there, and it was really sad, but it just like helped you remember that, okay, I need to be really conscious and really safe around the trains, because there are a lot of people going in and out, and it's a busy place, and you need to be aware of your surroundings. Germany really runs off of public transportation. I mean, it's usually really good, but sometimes the drivers go on what they call a strike. So it's where they're like protesting, they want to get more money. And this was on my first day in the mission. And so right when we got off the train to the train station, we need to go home, but my companion was also brand new-ish in the mission, and the public transportation was on strike. So we had to walk home, and we got lost because public transportation wasn't working. So we walk home, and we just carrying the suitcases. I'm like, where are we? I was so lost. So we get to the apartment, drop off the luggages, and then we have to go back to the train station. Still, there's no public transportation. So we're running late, so we have to run all the way there. It's like a 15-minute run, which is totally normal in Germany to run to catch buses, trains, Straßenbahn, like a streetcar. You find yourself running a lot because you want to make it. You don't want to wait like 10 or 20 minutes. And sometimes you have to wait a long time, like an hour. So running for transportation is totally worth it, and it's normal, and everyone does it. So it's a normal part of the culture, but you have to get used to it.
Probably the craziest story that I have from my time in Germany was I was with one of my companions, and we were teaching a man who lived in a refugee camp from Iran, and he was moved from the refugee camp that we were teaching him at to a different one, which happens periodically. They'll move the refugees to different camps. But the new one was in the middle of a forest, and so we brought it up on our maps and we tried to navigate there, and it said there was no way to drive there. And so we drove as far as we thought the road would take us, and then we just tried to watch our map on our phone and try to guess where it was. So we ended up actually we came to a lumber yard as we were walking to it, and there's barbed wire fences, just trees everywhere. It was secure. We had to trespass through there. I can say that now because I'm safe in the US. They can't arrest me for that. So we found a hole in the barbed wire fence, and we crawled through, went to the other side. And after we'd crossed to the other side, we eventually found it. So we'd already trespassed through barbed wire fence. And then we get to the refugee camp, and we go and we knock on the door, because it was in a building, and no one answered. And we didn't see any lights on. And so we knocked for a few minutes and no one answered still. So we went to go try to find our way back to our car. We realized that there was a street and we didn't have to trespass through the lumber yard again. But by this time, because in the winter there it gets dark around 3 or 4 o'clock. By this time it was 7 or 8, so it was pitch black. And so we were just walking on the side of this highway with no lights for a mile trying to find our car. So that was pretty wild. In terms of crazy encounters with people, there was this one guy at the bus station. We were getting ready to go to church, so we were just about to take the bus to our church, and this guy walked up to us and he's like, "Hey, I'm a member of your church." And we're like, "Oh, that's awesome. Did you just move here? We haven't seen you." He's like, "Yeah, I'm a drinker." We're like, "Oh, that's not a problem. We'd love to have anyone at church." And so we started talking to him, and then he's like, "Hey, will you walk with me to the door?" And it was probably 5 or 6 feet away, so it was not very far. And we're like, "No, we really need to catch our bus to get to church. But we'd love to get your phone number." We gave him our card, We were like, we can't, sorry, like it's a few feet away. You can make it there on your own. And he's like, he got so upset that we wouldn't walk to the door with him that he tore up our card. He started telling us he was gonna kill us. A lot of the times that we had funny encounters, they would be with just people who were drunk. I don't know, I kind of miss getting death threats from people on the streets. I feel like it's really entertaining. It kind of scared me when I was first there, but then as you realize that usually they're just drunk, they start to become like really entertaining to you, and you just learn to laugh them off and have fun with them.